Hello, welcome again. This is the solution to the problem number 2, long-term contract revenue recognition over time or the upon the completion of the project. Okay, so here is the problem again. Let's go to the problem first. So on June 15, 2018, Sanderson Construction entered into a long-term construction contract to build a baseball stadium in Washington, D.C. for $220 million. The expected completion date is April 1st, 2020, just in time for the 2020 baseball season. Costs incurred and estimated costs to complete at year end for the life of the contract are as follows. The amounts are during the year 40 million, 80 million, and 50 million. And this is during the year, okay? So estimated costs to complete as of the December 31st. So total 120, 60, and nothing should be in 2020. So there are three requirements over here. So how much revenue and gross profit will be recognized in 2018, 19, and 2020 in the income statements related to this contract, assuming that the revenue is recognized based on the percentage of completion. So 220, 220, 220. So let's underline this one, and then actual cost to date. So it should be 40, and now see that in 2018 it's 40, and in 2019 you can see that it's 80. So 80 plus 40, it should be equal to 40 plus 80, 120, and in 2020 50 in 2020, and it should be equal to 120 plus 50, so 170. Have you seen that? So this 170 is the sum of this 50 plus 120, and this 120 is the sum of this 120 is the sum of this 40 and this 80. Okay, so estimated cost to complete. So for 2018 it's 120, and then 60, and nothing. Okay, and I'm underlining this. So total estimated cost, it should be total estimated costs. It should be equal to, say, sum of these 40 and 20 is equal to, say, 40 and 120. Then it should be equal to 120 plus 60 this here, and this should be equal to 170 plus 0. Okay, and the estimated gross profit. So but just the actual gross profit is in 2020. Okay, actual would be in 2020, so just underline this one. And so it should be equal to how much? Should be equal to 2020. Okay, sorry, it should be 2020 minus 160, 60. Then 2020 minus 180, 40, and this should be 2020 minus 170, so it should be 50, and close. Now we go to the revenue recognition in 2018. So the first one is percentage completed. Percentage completed. So percentage completed would be so 40 divided by 160, and this year it should be equal to 60 divided by 180, 33%. Is it 60? No, actually, it's actually 120. So 120 divided by 180, sorry. And in 2020, we don't need the percentage because we will be using the residual amount, okay, for 2020. Okay, so and now in 2018, so our revenue would be equal to, so this one multiplied by this, okay, and in 2018 and 19 it should be equal to let's do this, so 220 multiplied by this one minus 55. Okay, so this one is 91.67. Let's use the okay, and in 2020 it should be equal to this one minus 55, the revenue recognized in 2018 and the amount of revenue recognized in 2019. So this should be the amount. So we can format the sale as currency about it. This one, this should be currency. Okay. And the gross profit, amount of gross profit would be equal to, see that, revenue minus cost. Then revenue minus cost. So the amount of cost in 2019 is equal to 80, and in 2020 it should be equal to revenue minus the amount of cost is 50, correct? So this one. And the requirement number 2, it is saying how much revenue and gross profit will be recognized in 2018, 19 and 20 if the project does not qualify for revenue recognition. Okay, so no revenue recognition, no revenue because it doesn't qualify for the partial completion. So, and in 2020 it should be the entire amount, so nothing, and in 2020 it should be, see that we have already calculated this 50, so it should be how much? This revenue minus 170. Okay, and the revenue recognition in 2019, suppose the estimated cost to complete at the end of 2019 is 80 million, and instead of 60 million, so what would be the revenue recognized in 2019. So 2019, so total estimated costs would be equal to how much? So in 2019, so that we have had 60. Instead of 60, we will be having 80. So 120 and 80. So it should be 120 plus 80. 200, correct? So it's 200, and the percentage of completion. So percentage of completion would be equal to, so it should be 120 divided by 200, 60%. Okay, so the revenue recognition in 2019 would be equal to, so 220 multiplied by 0.6, meaning 60%, minus 55, the amount of revenue we have recognized in 2018. See that? This one. So this should be the amount. Let's format down. Okay, so this is the amount. Okay, and now the gross profit. Gross profit in 2019, it should be equal to 77 is the cost, and what is the amount of, sorry, 77 is the revenue, and the cost is 80. Okay, so it should be equal to $3 meaning $3 million loss. See that? So this $3 million loss in 2019. Okay, so I hope you have understood. So if you have any question for me, so just let me know. Thank you and have a good one.